Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lara Bossa and you are watching Lara's Corner. So I've decided to start a mini series called How To. It's just going to be a discussion on how to live life abundantly, and I pray that through this series you get inspired and you get motivated to live an abundant life. So today's video is how to discover my purpose. This video is ultimately for people that have not discovered their purpose. They have no clue as to why they were created. So if you fall in that bracket, this video is definitely for you. Before we go any further, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Press that subscribe button now, yes. Right, so how to discover my purpose. Before we talk about how to discover your purpose, we need to define what purpose is. So what is purpose? You hear people banging on and on about purpose. So what is this purpose? English dictionary describes purpose as the reason for which something is done or created, or the reason why something exists. Wow. So purpose is ultimately the original reason why something was created. Now, if you apply that definition back to yourself, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What is the reason for my existence? Why am I here? Why did I survive? Why was I conceived? Why was I born? Out of the millions of eggs and sperm, I made it. Why am I here? And I believe once you start asking yourself those questions, you are one step closer to identifying your purpose. There's a wonderful quote by Miles Monroe which says, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. And I believe this statement is so true. If you look at the world today, things that are happening, the atrocious things that are happening, is ultimately because people have no sense of direction. People have no sense of purpose. So really understanding your purpose is the key to living an abundantly and fulfilled life. Remember, I said living. I believe that a lot of us are merely existing. We're barely hanging on. We do the same routine over and over and over again. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, eat, sleep. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, eat, sleep. We do the same routine, and that is not living. That is merely existing. That is barely hanging on. We were created to do more than that. And I believe that true living starts from when you identify your purpose. God is a God of purpose. He designed absolutely everything to meet a need. Think of the sun, the moon, the stars, the air that you breathe, the leaves on the trees, the bees, even the maggots, even the soil. Everything has been designed for a specific purpose. Now, how much more you are invaluable. You have definitely been created for a purpose. So how do I now discover my purpose? The first step to discovering your purpose, you have to take it back to the Creator. I know, I always have a way of bringing everything back to God, because ultimately it begins and ends with Him. You have to take it back to the manufacturer. You have to take it to the G-O-D. You have to take it to Him, because He created you. We are made in His image. The Bible talks about being intricately formed in our mother's womb. That means that all my desires, all my thoughts, all my goals, all my vision, all my aspiration, all my talents, when God was forming me in my mother's womb, He put all of that in me. So that means your purpose is already in you. Everything that you would ever need to achieve your purpose is already in you, but you have to go back to Him and find out. He knows you better than you know yourself. There are some people that have been trying to find a meaning to their life, and instead of going to God, they've gone to find a meaning in wrong sources and taking advice from the wrong people. No, you have to go back to the manufacturer. You have to go back to God. You have to go back to the Creator. So for instance, if your iPhone has malfunctioned, you're not going to take your iPhone to the Samsung store. You're going to be like, holla, we can't help you. Or they might even try to sabotage the product because they don't want Apple to succeed. Same way, you want to know your purpose, you need to go to the Creator and ask him, look, why have you created me? Why am I here? Why was I not created in the 20s, in the medieval times, in the hundreds? Why am I here in 2018? It is God's desire that we fulfill our purpose. It is God's desire that we know who we are. As you start to have a relationship with God, talk to him, pray, sing, and you start to read your Bible more, you'll begin to have direction. You'll begin to have peace. You'll begin to have clarity, and you will identify your purpose. You will know your purpose. So ultimately, you have to go back to him. That's the first thing that you have to do. You can never know your full purpose until you know God. Which brings me to number 2. When you have a relationship with God, when you know God, this gives you your identity. You begin to know who you are. You can't walk in your purpose unless you know who you are. Now, I've done a video on identity. If you want to check that out, click the link. There's a whole video on identity, but identity is also important in discovering your purpose, who you are. Other people cannot tell you who you are. Social media cannot tell you who you are. Teachers cannot tell you who you are. Ultimately, your self-worth, your identity is in the Creator. Number 3. To truly know your purpose, you have to know your passion. If you had to do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, money is not an issue, bills are not an issue, where you come from is not an issue, your in surrounding environment, all those external things that sometimes act as a hindrance and sometimes prevent us from actually fulfilling our purpose is not an issue. What is that one thing that you would do for the rest of your life? Answer that question, and that is your passion. So you've discovered your passion. That will now bring me to your talent, your gifts. What are you good at? When God created us, he blessed us with amazing gifts and amazing talents. Apparently, there's a study that said that we all have 2,000 gifts, 2,000 talents. So yes, we've been blessed with amazing gifts and talents. So talent is something that you are naturally good at. Well, I believe that talent can be inherent, but it can also be developed. But some people mistake talent for purpose. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's where your purpose lies. So for instance, you can sing, you've got amazing vocal abilities, but that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be the next Whitney Houston, the next Celine Dion, the next Mariah Carey or Beyonce or whatever. Maybe God has blessed you with that gift for you to train others, for you to impart into others. So be very, very careful and be very mindful that just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's necessarily your purpose. So many people have been pushed in doing something just because they're good at it, but purpose is more than just being good at something. It's because purpose is a higher calling. It's not for you. It's a servitude to other people. So purpose requires sacrifice. Purpose sometimes will leave you lonely. Sometimes will leave you broken. Sometimes will leave you broke. So you have to have a passion for it. You have to love it, because in the midst of the adversities, in the midst of whatever's going wrong, it's that love, that passion, that desire that's going to motivate you, that's going to keep pushing you, that's going to make you persevere. So I just also want to mention that talent isn't just the physical things that you can see. So it's not just the ability to be able to sing, it's not the ability to be able to dance or the ability to be able to speak or write or do poetry or whatever. Talent is also the ability to give advice, the ability to listen, the ability to motivate. Not many people are really good at doing that. So that is a talent in itself. So never diminish the gifts that God has given you. He has given you those gifts for a reason, for a divine purpose. Finally, I want to end with your morals and your values, your core principles. What makes you choose one thing over another? Listen, because whatever you do in life, you have to be able to live with it. So whilst we're talking about purpose and I want to live a full and abundant life and this and that, you have to make sure that what you are doing is something that you can live with. Purpose is something that should never leave you feeling empty. It should never leave a void. It should never leave you feeling unfulfilled. It should never make you feel like you can't look at yourself in the mirror. So you need to understand, what are your core principles? What can you tolerate? Look at who inspires you. Who are the people that inspires you? Who are the people that motivate you? What are they about? Who are your role models? Who are your mentors? So when you start looking at the people that you look up to, and you start looking at the work they've done, the body of work they've done, that will tell you what you can tolerate. That will tell you what your morals are, what your values are. So understand that purpose should never leave a negative effect on you. So when you've answered those questions, you now need to look at your surroundings, you need to look at the world, you need to look at where you are and ask this final question: where is there a problem that I have the solution to? Remember back to God. When He formed you, He placed everything inside of you. He placed the solution to a problem that somebody or something or the world is going to have. See, He predestined it. He knew that there's going to be a need for X, Y, and Z. So therefore, I am going to create a Lero to meet that need. So when you answer that question, when you understand that you are a solution carrier, that you have the solution to a problem somewhere. We have been created to more than exist. We have been created to solve problems, however big, however small. You are a solution carrier. So once you answer that question, you have discovered your purpose. So I just want to leave you with a few things. When trying to discover your purpose, don't think about trying to get rich. Don't think about being on the stage. Don't think about the spotlight. Like I said, purpose is beyond that. Sometimes your purpose will have you behind the scenes. People might not even know your name, but you are impacting lives. You are transforming lives. So never think that your purpose has to take you on a stage. Never think that your purpose has to make you famous, or never think that your purpose has to bring the spotlight on you. So don't think that just because you see people on Instagram, on social media, on the news doing things, doesn't mean that your purpose is any less effective or any less important. At the end of the day, if the purpose is truly of God, He will fund you. He will fund the vision. He will fund your purpose. So when trying to understand your purpose, stop trying to think of, oh, how can I get rich? No. Your thoughts should be, where is there a problem that I have a solution to? Also, it is so important that you start thinking about your purpose. You're never too young, never too old. Wherever you are in life, it's never too late to start thinking about your purpose. Generations are relying on you to discover your purpose. God anticipated a need in the future and created you to be that solution. I believe that many people nowadays are suffering or not prospering as much as they should because people before them didn't discover their purpose, or they did discover their purpose but they didn't fulfill it. So I'm here today to tell you that it is so important. This is how important purpose is. Somebody somewhere needs you. They need your creativity. They need your invention. They need your influence. They need your ministry. They need your boldness. They need your solution. They need you, to be all that God has created you to be. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it inspires you to start thinking about what your purpose is. In the comment section, I want us to start a bit of discussion. I want you to comment down below if you've discovered your purpose. What do you think about purpose? Are you walking in your purpose? How did you discover your purpose? If you can share in the comment section below, that will be amazing. So thank you all so much, and I will see you all in my next video.